Welcome to the Inside View. I'm Ralph Renzulli, your host. As always, thank you for watching. This is my series of interviews with candidates for Common Council in this November's election. There are 12 total, actually 3 in each ward. Each interview is limited to 30 minutes or less, and each candidate gets asked the same set of questions. With me today is Mark Ruffing, who's running in ward number 3. Mark?
Correct.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you're the incumbent.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Actually, I've been an alderman for 26 years.
Wow.
So.
And you're still at it.
Yeah.
Although you've been in it for 26 years, a lot of people know you, but for the benefit of our viewers, give me a snapshot of your history, your personal background.
Sure. I just retired from the House Good Shepherd after 40 years of service, 38 as a supervisor. I moved to Little Falls about 38 years ago. My wife was a teacher in Dodgeville. She taught there. I lived in Utica, so we kind of met sort of halfway. Well, halfway, so she says it. So that was Little Falls. We fell in love with the place. We've been there ever since. I've been involved in Rotary. I've been president of Rotary twice. I've been exalted ruler of the Elks. I really embrace Little Falls. I love it. I went to Notre Dame High School and graduated from Utica College.
Okay. So 26 years on the Common Council. Why are you running again?
Well, first of all, I like it. I like helping people. It's the little things that people call me up. They might not know about when to put the grass clippings out, leaves things, the little things that people call me on. Also, some of the big things. I think the biggest thing I ever faced was about 20 years ago. They wanted a curfew in Little Falls for kids. Well, first of all, we didn't have a detention center. So if the police picked up a kid, where are they going to put him? So at the beginning, it was 7-1 against 4 curfew in Little Falls for kids. And I was able to persuade other council members it's not a good idea. So we did other things.
Okay. So those are the types of things that keep you going.
Right. Helping
people out. Okay. One of the things that I like to talk about is the job of an alderman. Despite what people might think, a lot of people don't really know what you do.
Right.
What is the role of an effective alderman, in your view?
Effective alderman? To answer to the taxpayers, stay within the budget of all the departments. Like I'm headed a golf commission, help out with the golf course, keep that going, keep all the services that we're used to going, and it gets harder and harder every year. I mean, prices, everything goes up. Health insurance for the city workers is getting outrageous. But I think is keeping all the services that we're used to in Little Falls. I think is my biggest role.
Okay. What is it about yourself that you feel makes you an effective alderman, specifically?
Well, I work with 4 different mayors, and I didn't get along with all of them, but somehow I worked with all of them pretty well. I mean, some of them I didn't agree with, but 4 different mayors, 4 different personalities. I can get along with people. I can negotiate. If I don't agree with them, I can try to get my point across, even if I don't agree with them. But I think I've done that very well over the 26 years.
Okay. And going a little further, a little deeper into Little Falls, obviously we've had some issues. What are in your mind, what are the 3 top problems or issues facing Little Falls right now?
Lack of population. We're losing population every year. Tax base. Low, we don't have a big tax base anymore, and maybe jobs in Little Falls. Most people, most of my friends don't even they live in Little Falls, work elsewhere, either Utica, Albany, or wherever they have to go, but they like this home base here.
So, as an alderman, how can you personally impact rectifying some of those things?
Trying to keep the taxes as low as we possibly can. Just getting people liking this place. Look at this festival coming up this week. People where my camp is they live in Rochester. They're all coming to the Cheese Fest, which I think is unbelievable. Things like that, just to enhance people once they come here and they look around, they like it. There's a fireman from New York City moved to Little Falls for one reason, because we had carts at the golf course. So things like that. It seems funny, but it's, you know.
It's a little unusual.
Yeah, but he did that.
Yeah. Okay. How about your own ward, Ward 3? What are give me the top 3 in your ward?
The problems in the top?
Yeah.
Vacant housing. There's quite a few in my ward. My ward starts at the right-hand side of Salisbury Street and goes all the way to Vets Field. So there's a lot of houses in that ward that are falling apart. There's probably at least 20 that are probably unoccupied. What other problems in the ward? It seems like there's a lot of good neighborhoods there, so I don't know if that's not a problem. A lot of people actually some people don't get along because the streets are so small up in Moreland Street. That was kind of a problem. The traffic flow in some of the streets, because the streets are so small, the houses are right on top of each other. That's, I think, the only 2 big ones.
So in regard to I'll call them zombie homes, whatever they are, how can you impact that? How do you go about communicating that or working on that?
Well, there's been a whole bunch of different ideas to try to get them back on the tax base. I think the mayor right now is trying to get some of those homes back on the tax base by, selling some of our lots that we have, and that's a good idea. Expanding some of our empty lots, opening them up so maybe they can have a garage in their house, and things like that.
You've been doing this a long time. How do you stay connected to your constituents?
I'm friends with most of them. I mean, on Salisbury Street, just alone, I help out my neighbor mowing the lawn sometimes. I see him in stores. I talk to him. See him at Stewart's. They all say hi to me. Most of them are really, I would say I have at least 100 they're friends, at least 100 of them. So.
Okay. What sets you apart from the competition? You're running against 2 other people.
Yeah, my experience, like I said, 26 years as an alderperson, able to get along with other people, like I mentioned earlier. I've served under 4 mayors. I've been elected common council president 15 times, which is, I think, 9 times more than anybody else ever in the city of Little Falls. So I think that's my leadership. I don't seek it. Usually before the meeting, the 1st of January, I said, I've been common council president for the last 5 years. I won't turn it down, but if anybody else wants it, they can, step up. So, and I'll say it again this year. But so I step up and become a council president.
So what's the common council president do?
In the absence of the mayor, takes over for the mayor.
That's it?
That's it.
No other?
No, I don't get a parking spot or anything.
Mentioned the mayor. How would you define a good, solid working relationship with a mayor? Not just our mayor, but any mayor. How do you?
Well, I just left the mayor because we had something to talk about. I probably stop to see her at least once or twice a week with concerns of either the 3rd ward or the whole city, mostly the whole city. And she's accessible. Her door's open this morning. We talked for 15, 20 minutes. I told her where I'm going. She wished me luck. So just being accessible, talking to her, telling her what people are thinking in the city, the views of other people.
There seems to be, I don't know how many, but there seems to be some people in this town who feel that there's not enough transparency and communication from the mayor is not good. How do you feel about that?
Her door is always open. She always calls you back. I think she's really transparent as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why some people think that. I struggle with that because I think she got a bum rap for that because she's there every day. I mean, other mayors, there was a part-time job for them, and her, she's been there she's there every day.
Yeah, I think some of that stemmed from the budget, in that there wasn't an explanation on certain line items. What's your take on that?
you can go over every line item. Being on the finance committee, you can go on any line item, and it's just it's a tough thing to do. I mean, there's hundreds of line items. I mean, you can't explain every single one of them. Some of them get in DPW. Sometimes they get crossed, and where's this bolt go? Does it go under this line item? So it's just tough to do. But the budget was out there before the budget was passed, so people had time to look at it.
So anybody could ask a question anytime they want, and they'd probably get an answer.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And my phone, I mean, people can call me. In fact, they do call me all the time, and I get right back to them. I never dodge a call.
Another issue in town is the homeless population.
It's everywhere. I think we have 3 or 4 right now, but it's not new to Little Falls, or it's not. I go to Saratoga every year. And there's a parking garage, and there had to be at least 30 homeless people there. I think Saratoga police keeps them off of Main Street. I think that's what we're doing here too, a little bit. They can't be right on Main Street, but they are. It's more of a. In fact, I went to the Y. This one guy, his name is Mark. Also, I'm not gonna say his last name. I tried to get him housing, and so I went to the Y. And they would take him, except for he's not on his medication. So he's not stable. He's not on his medication. If he was taking his medication, he would have a home. He'd have a bed, but he won't do it.
So you don't see any solution?
Well, winter's coming. No, I don't. No, it's people with mental health problems, which I work with the mental health industry for 40 years. And some people just don't want to be helped. And they choose their life, and it's like we can't impose things on them.
Yeah, they have a right to be homeless.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
They do.
Right. And
we don't like it. I mean, I don't like it, but
yeah. Well, unless it's disruptive. I mean, we had an incident at the library not too long ago where a gentleman just went off the rails, and we unfortunately. We don't usually bother them. They come in, and sometimes they fall asleep, but they're normally not bothering.
They usually plug their phone in, right?
Yeah, they charge their phone. They sleep. They usually stay out of the way. They're okay.
I've seen people in the library do that.
Yeah, this guy was just he lost it. So unfortunately, we had to bar him. But short of that,
they're actually one of my tenants works for the neighborhood center, and the Little Falls police hired her. If there's a mental health crisis, she goes with them. Mm-hmm. So she goes with the police. So this is kind of a solution. If there's like the guy acting up in the library or on the street, she'll go with them and be like a social worker with the police. Police is backup. So I don't know if that's helping right now, but
well, like you said, it's all over. We're not alone.
No, it's
I just noticed that my friends and we talk about it now, and that always seems to come up in conversation. Yeah. That because it's such a small city, it's obvious that they're there.
Yeah.
But
they're everywhere. I mean, it's.
Earlier you mentioned that you're a good listener. You talk to people, and you have an issue, you're able to talk about it. If you had a disagreement with a colleague, another older person, for example, where it was an important issue and you totally disagreed, how do you go about handling that? What's your approach?
Well, I go back to when Ted Wynn was mayor a long time ago. I had an issue. I voted with Ted Wynn 99% of the time. One time I didn't. I walk in the Elks. He's mad at me, screaming and yelling at me. And I go, Ted, I vote for you 99% of the time. This one issue, I can't remember what it was. And anyways, 10 minutes later, he bought me a beer, and it was over with. And that's how it should be. And I wish it was national politics did that more. Just, we had a disagreement. Let's go our separate ways and get over this and, fight another battle another day.
You were probably the only Democrat that year that didn't vote for him.
Probably.
How long did he serve? 30 years or what?
30. He took a break, and he was just county legislator for 8 years or 6 years. Yeah. It was just one issue I voted him against. He was mad, but he got over it. That's how you're supposed to.
Yeah.
My view.
Well, in my career, that's how I did it. If I had a disagreement with a colleague, I'd say, let's sit down, let's go in a room and talk about this.
Right.
Because people that reported to me, I always told them, don't let it fester. Let's sit down, and talk about this and clear the air.
Well, the people that work for me at the House Good Shepherd, they work with the most difficult population. Kids with JD backgrounds and mental health issues, and it's tough to work with those kids. And at the end of the day, they're burnt out. Let's go have a talk. How can you get over it? What are you gonna do tonight when you go home? Talk. Just come back the next day and be fresh.
Yeah. I guess we're fortunate we don't have the problems Utica has.
No.
I mean, every time you turn the TV on, somebody's getting shot at or knifed or whatever.
And I know all those guys. Most of them were at the House Good Shepherd. So I see their name, I'm like, oh no.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
See, it's hard to break that. At the end of my career at the House Good Shepherd, I was director of intake. So I was bringing kids into the House Good Shepherd. And I get questioned all the time, why'd you bring that kid in? I said, well, one time, he was a legacy. I brought his father in, and I knew his grandfather. That's how long I was there. And that's how it's hard to break that streak. Yeah. And they did the same things. They, stole, robbery, and then the grandfather did it, the father did it, then the son was doing it, or the grandson.
Yeah, well, like they say, the apple doesn't far fall from the tree.
That's true.
So here's another question for you. Where would you like to see the city 5 years from now?
I would like to see Main Street full, the biggest thing.
Businesses?
Yeah, full. We just got a new restaurant started Friday.
Toca-Boca.
So wish them well. New business come and go. It's hard to make it here. I walk downtown. Well, my wife kills me about 10 times a day just to.
I see you walking all the time.
I do walk all the time, but I'd like to see downtown, all the storefronts full, and that helps everybody out.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is to that, but Dave and I were talking about this the other day. The local lady from Dallasville, Tiffany, who opened up a floor shop and now it's closed,
right?
Because she didn't have any support. I give people credit for starting, but you know what the poverty level is here. We just don't. There's not a lot of money in this. I mean, there's money, but it's pocketed in pockets, in certain places, but for the most part.
Well, going out for restaurants and stuff, you see the same 100 people.
Yeah, you do.
Because those people have some money. The other, a lot of people in my ward, I never see them out at restaurants because they don't have that extra income to go out.
So how can you, as an older person, have an impact on bringing business here?
Well, personally, I support the stores. The new bait and tackle store on Main Street, I try to support them as much as I can. I mean, I don't do a lot of that hunting and stuff, but I bought a lock, I bought another item, just, get there, and I talk it to my, when I run into people in the street or stewards and say, hey, check out that store down there. And the other store that's bought, the appliance factory store, I talk to those guys a lot. I try to buy things from them. They didn't have them in stock, which was fine. I said, next time I have something I need, I'll go to you guys again.
That's
things
good.
like that.
So other than Main Street, where do we need to be 5 years from now?
Affordable housing, which is always what we need. As a landlord, I keep my prices pretty low to keep good people. I don't have a lot of turnover. Just that, I guess.
Okay. Final thoughts on your candidacy and what you're trying to do?
I love Little Falls. I like serving the people of the Third Ward, and I hope for another term.
Okay. Good enough. We'll wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you.
That's Mark Ruffing, running for re-election in Ward number 3. Please exercise your right to vote. Early voting is October 25th, and the election is what? November 4th. Thank you for watching.